Hey dear one, this video is about power and responsibility. The whole false light and darkness is all about power. And it's interesting because in the English language, power equals energy. And in the German language, power is related to being mighty. And I think both is true. But a little bit different angle, and a lot is about stealing energy. You will find a lot of my videos talking about that, because I'm working with energy. And yeah, but there is something interesting. I was always different in some ways than others. And I was never looking for a position of power, because to me it was always very obvious that power means responsibility. And I found it quite a thing to take responsibility for other people. And it's hard enough to take responsibility for your own life and your own actions. That's why most people don't do it. And that's important to understand. The whole reason why there are leaders and why they are the whole society, the whole social structure of society is the way it is because people are handing over their power to other people. And the reason for that is because they want them to take responsibility, what they never do. They take your power, but they are not taking the responsibility. They just make you believe that they are taking the responsibility, but they don't. And therefore, if we hand over our own power to someone else, we are being fooled big time. And we all do it in some way without thinking about it. But it's a fool's game, really it is. And yeah. So people hand over the power so they can blame the shitty outcome on the government, the banks, their parents, their partners, their kids, the dog, the cat down the road, and everybody else is responsible for the shitty outcome in their life. Yeah, you cannot outsource responsibility. Therefore, you shouldn't hand over your power, because the way things are on that planet, whenever you hand over your power to someone else, chances are very, very high this is going to be misused. And I have a story for you about handing over your power and how you may refuse to hand over your power, even in an extreme situation. Okay. As you might have heard from my accent, I'm from Germany. And a relative of mine, he was a young guy in the Second World War when that happened. And he was captured as a prisoner of war by the Russians. He was really, really young. And he and his comrades, they were all captured. And the whole group was forced. They were given a shovel and they were forced to dig their own graves. And the reason why I can share this story is that the relative of mine, he took the shovel and threw it in front of the Russian in front of him, who pointed at him with a gun. And he took the shovel and threw it in front of his feet and said, "Yeah, dig yourself." And chances were high likely that he would just been killed 5 minutes or 10 minutes before the others. So it seemed to be an act of insanity that he didn't dig his grave and just have 5 or 10 more minutes to live. But you know, he did lose the fight. They have lost the fight, but still he didn't give in, not even when facing death. He didn't hand over his power. And that's important, because there are different ways how you can be brought down and how you can lose. And yeah, the reason why I can tell you this story is the Russian soldier, instead of shooting him, he turned his knife around and he beat my ancestor really, really badly. And he broke his bone over here. And I guess he thought he's not worth the bullet and wanted him to die slowly. And to be honest, the odds were all against this ancestor of mine. And don't think if you play the hero, you will win always. That's not always the case. But there are things worse than dying, is dying on your knees. And that is why my ancestor didn't hand over the power. But sometimes life is also with the brave ones. So he was then, he was laying on the ground and he was, beaten terribly, and he would normally have died there. But there was a female doctor who had witnessed that. And yeah, she fell in love because, yeah, life is with the brave ones. And she protected him. She made sure he would have some medical care. And she, as a doctor is high up in the ranks, she brought herself in danger, as she made sure he would then, when he recovered a little bit, he would then work in a kind of kitchen. It wasn't a really kitchen they had there, but he was helping preparing the food for the soldiers. And that is how he survived. And he survived damaged in all ways possible. Body, mind, and soul. But he survived, and the moment he made this decision, he didn't know he would survive. He thought he would just die sooner. But yeah, there are worse things than dying. And we should be careful to hand over our power, especially at the moment. And because see, while you may hand over the power, you cannot hand over the responsibility. You will always experience the outcome. If you trust in a bankster to make sure he's doing a good investment with your money, you are handing not only your money, you are also handing over your power. And you will be the one who is living with the outcome if the money is gone. And if you hand over your power to the government and the government is making stupid decisions, you will suffer from the outcome, because it is still your responsibility, although you did hand over your power. And I have handed over my power a few times in my life, just because I was believing someone else is smarter than I am. There are people who are smarter, but still it was my responsibility, and it was the outcome of my decisions I had to face. And that is very, very important if we are speaking about the topic of abuse. And we are living on a planet where that is really, really abusive, big time, in many, many ways. In many ways that are very subtle. Abuse is not just people being raped. Abuse is taking place all the time in many, many ways. And if we want to end this, we have to become aware that in the end, we are holding the power and the responsibility for our own life. And I have recorded the thing about the video about creating your own reality. Yeah, take back your power. Be aware that you're responsible for your life, and that is the best way to create reality. One that is not delusional, but real. Okay. So please take good care and see you next time. Yeah, Natalie.